In a world full of challenges, there are incredible people making a difference, one cause at a time. KFGO for a Cause, brought to you by Neil Van Dam and the Van Dam Financial Group. KFGO for a Cause shines a spotlight on organizations and individuals dedicated to positive change.
Welcome to KFGO for a Cause, brought to you by Neil Van Dam and the Van Dam Financial Group. I'm Amy Eiler from It Takes Two with Amy and JJ, weekdays from 11 to 2. And Neil Van Dam is in the house from Van Dam Financial. Welcome back.
Good morning.
And with us today is Laura Scott, Chief Operating Officer of BioGirls. Laura, welcome to the studio.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So we tabled this interview from April to May because they said, listen, we really want to talk about mental health awareness. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. I like to say, let's stop calling them awareness months and let's start calling them action months. We know breast cancer exists. Let's call it Breast Cancer Action Month. I've been saying that for years. And you guys seem to be the definition of Mental Health Action Month. Like you are doing something about it. You're not just talking about it. You're not just aware of it. You are taking action. So let's introduce our audience to who BioGirls is if they've never heard of you before.
Yeah, thank you. So BIO stands for Beautiful Inside and Out, and we are on a mission to improve the mental health of adolescent girls through empowerment of self and connection with others. We know that mental health and self-esteem go hand in hand, and that self-esteem is one of the strongest predictors of emotional and behavioral health in adolescent girls. And so BioGirls is so proud to provide an option to these adolescent girls to build the skills and build that foundation to ensure that they have those resources as they grow through adolescence to deal with those feelings of anxiety, how to build healthy relationships, and really know their worth, finding that inside, looking inward and upward for their worth rather than looking to external sources.
Okay, so you must have had some really good research about girls and self-esteem. What do we know about girls and self-esteem?
Yeah, what we know about girls and self-esteem is that self-esteem is at an all-time high in those second, third, and fourth grade girls. As they get to fifth and sixth grade, we see self-esteem really take a dip and it come to an all-time low. It's when that inner voice starts to tell them things like, I'm not good enough, or I'm not as fast as my friend. My art project wasn't as creative as, someone else in the classroom. And so BioGirls exists at a time to really support these girls, to build their resilience, to teach them that the progress is the important piece of growing up and experiencing new things. It's not perfection. The importance of trying new things and really just helping them learn and build that toolkit early on so that they have the skills and resources to turn their inner critic into their inner cheerleader.
The obvious question is, how do you do it?
Yeah, great question. So BioGirls has proven, you mentioned that, BioGirls has proven to increase the self-esteem in 7 of 10 participants and decrease anxiety symptoms in 50% of our participants. How we do this is through a 12-session program that has 3 main elements. The first is our life skills curriculum. It's proprietary. It's developed in-house and revised annually with the feedback of experts. Our curriculum focuses on things like spreading kindness, not only to others, but also to ourselves. Healthy relationships, which at this age is mostly friendship. So what does it look like to be a good friend? What does receiving that friendship look like? And what are some skills that they can develop to help build those healthy relationships? The other elements include things like mental wellness. So how do we deal with feelings of anxiety? And then also leadership skills. The second component is positive mentoring. So we know that girls with a mentor outside of the family nucleus have higher self-esteem. And so built into our program are volunteers, incredible volunteers from the community that are part of the program that help guide the girls through the 12 sessions. They help teach and facilitate the curriculum. They're there to act as a cheerleader for these girls, and so that these girls know that they have a resource outside of their family in the community that believes in them and is cheering them on. And finally, non-competitive physical activity. So really helping the girls make that mind-body connection early on, using activity as a way to move our bodies and know that moving our bodies is really important when we think about mental health. The importance of being able to get out and exercise, but not have it be competitive, right? It's so important for them to learn those skills early on. And also use it for important things like goal setting, holding ourselves accountable. So throughout the 12 weeks, the girls are working towards their finale event. In some cases, it's a 5K. It might be a yoga flow or an art showcase. But it's helping these girls set a goal and work towards that goal to achieve it.
I don't think we mentioned this. We mentioned it before we got on the air, but how old are the girls that you're serving with the BioGirls program?
Yes, so the traditional 12-week BioGirls program is available for girls in 2nd through 6th grade. We do have summer camp options available this summer, and that is for 6-year-olds to 11-year-olds. So they're able to get started a little bit early and maybe get a sampler before they're able to be part of the 12-week program.
The 12-week program, like when is this running? Is it weekends? Is it evenings? How much of a time commitment is it for the girls?
Great question. So they're generally 90-minute sessions once a week for 12 weeks. We are fortunate here in Fargo-Moorhead to have programming held throughout the year. So we have incredible volunteers that step up to say, hey, believe in the mission of BioGirls and I would like to lead a program. And so we have programming available throughout the year. At various locations throughout the metro area. We also have programs throughout North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Iowa that also run throughout the year. So it's really at the discretion of our volunteers to determine a time of year that works best for them and that will work best for their community.
Is BioGirls a national organization? Like, are we just a chapter of a bigger...
BioGirls was developed here by Missy Heilman in Fargo in 2013. Started with one program. She wanted to find a way to give back to the community, and so started a program here, and it's organically spread. So we're a regional program. We're in a 5-state area. Majority of our programs are in North Dakota and Minnesota, but we do also have programs in South Dakota, Iowa, and Wisconsin.
Girls are so cool, aren't they?
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Like, girls are so cool. They're like, let's do something for other girls. I love the whole idea behind it. Since it was started in Fargo, have other communities like picked up and kind of copy and pasted this in other places?
Yes, absolutely. So we have an onboarding process for all of our volunteers. As I mentioned, it's a proven program. So our curriculum is facilitated in communities throughout the Midwest. In 2025, we will have approximately 120 programs throughout the 5-state area that we serve. Last year in 2024, we had 103. So growing quite quickly and expanding and continuing to be able to provide programs to girls throughout the region.
Can I ask, what are your biggest challenges with this? Like, what are the things where you're like, oh, every year this is a bit, is it just expanding and getting more volunteers? Is it the money aspect? Like, what is the biggest challenge for BioGirls?
Yeah, I think, we're so fortunate to have a really committed army of BioGirls advocates that are willing
because girls are cool.
Yes.
You keep looking at me like I disagree. We're good.
Neil knows.
My daughter's been in it. Actually, most of our team members have been involved in one way or another.
That's awesome. That's great.
And your daughter has been a part of it?
Yep, she's done it for 2 years. And actually, every female staffer that's been involved with us or the wives of our folks have all volunteered as
That's incredible. Thank you.
So.
That's incredible.
So cool.
What feedback do you hear from your employees on participating or from your daughter?
Well, it's funny because I know you started with just the 5K as the physical event, and I know one of our coworkers said the daughter was just like, I don't like running. I like the program, but I don't like running. So then I forget what she did. Like, is there like a CrossFit type?
There's cross training and yoga and art now as well. There's also dance and cheer. So we have quite a few physical activity types available now for girls.
Yeah. So coming back with that, and then your event. To me, the most powerful thing was being at your the gala. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Looking around and you see all these local powerful women that just I know through the community of being just boss ladies, and seeing them all tear up because you just see them revert back to their childhood when a speaker is speaking, especially when you have some of your the children come up and share their story. To me, that's one of the most powerful things to say. wow, not only is it effective for the young women, but I think it's just as important for the adult ladies that are kind of reliving this and saying, I wish I had this.
Absolutely. We hear that so much from our volunteers. So in addition to working at BioGirls, I'm also a volunteer site director, lead a yoga program in the fall. But we hear that from so many of our volunteers is this is the lesson that I needed when I was a fourth grader, but also that I needed to hear today as an adult woman. And so it's so powerful to hear that feedback and to know that we can have an impact, that this program, the BioGirls program, has an impact on girls, and it's something that they'll take with them into adulthood.
It takes money to put all of this on. It takes resources. You said you have an amazing volunteer base. That's great. But every time we do for KFGO for a cause, we want to talk about how do you make things go? It takes more than people power. You're putting on a lot of events. You served over 3,000 girls in 2025. So far you've served 3,000.
We will serve approximately 3,000 girls this year in 2025.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you do it?
Yeah, great question. So one thing that we are so proud to provide at BioGirls is financial assistance. We don't ever want ability to pay to be a barrier for girls to have access to this proven preventative mental health program. And so during registration, when girls go to sign up for the program in their community, they can pick various levels of financial assistance based on federal guidelines that kind of outline what that looks like. In order to offset that, we are so grateful for our generous donors and business sponsors throughout the region that help support that financial assistance fund. So you can go to our website, biogirls.org, and help support the BioGirls Financial Assistance Fund. If you are called to do so, you can become a faithful friend, and for $12 a month, you can sponsor one girl to participate in a BioGirls program.
I love that. Okay, we're talking, we're sitting in Fargo, a really metro place where it would be easy to access girls for a program like this. Are there rural communities? Because I know that there might be someone listening in Hunter, Arthur, North Dakota, or any of these other smaller towns around us. What does it look like? Do you have rural partners doing BioGirls programs?
Absolutely. There is not a limit to the community size for BioGirls. We have programs in communities that are a couple hundred people, and they'll pull from those surrounding communities or from the county to pull in to make sure that this is accessible for all girls. Oftentimes what will happen in a county is it will start in one small community, and someone on the other side might drive their daughter across the county to receive BioGirls programming. And then in a couple years, someone will say, hey, I'm passionate about making sure this is available close to home. And so even in our smallest rural communities throughout the state, we may have multiple programs available for girls to participate in.
How does the community get involved? They can be a faithful friend.
Yep.
Do you have events that community members can go to? What does that look like for someone who might not have a girl who's 10 years old, but really is passionate about this kind of programming?
Absolutely. So we actually have our annual Find Your Kind 5K coming up on May 14th, which is a great opportunity to come out and support the mission of BioGirls. You can sign up to run, to walk, to jog the event, or simply come out and cheer on community members and BioGirls participants that are running in the event. We also have a half-mile youth run. So you mentioned you have a daughter who's not quite of program age, but they can come out and sign up and run our youth run and experience the incredible atmosphere of the Find Your Kind 5K.
May 14th, where is it at? Is it in Fargo?
It is here in Fargo, May 14th at Microsoft. We are so grateful to the Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Dakota Caring Foundation for being that presenting sponsor of the Find Your Kind 5K. So please come out, help us celebrate all of the girls' hard work, participate, or just be there to cheer on the girls. And you can find more information about that event by going to our website, biogirls.org.
You said a 12-week program. Would this be like kind of the end of one of your 12-week programs that you're
Correct.
celebrating?
Yes.
Okay, I get it. That's great. I love it.
And really the purpose of the physical activity is completing the event. We have many girls that walk the 5K, and that is perfect, right? That is what's meant for them. And so really the accomplishment is working towards finishing it. We don't even time the race. It's really about being there, setting your personal goal, and accomplishing it or working towards it.
I love it. What is your story with BioGirls? Like, what what got you into the organization? And it's clearly an organization that once you get into, you never want to leave.
Absolutely. So I worked in healthcare for many years and have always been such an admirer of BioGirls and the work in the program, and what it accomplishes and what it focuses on. And so the ability to be able to work upstream and be able to provide adolescent girls with resources early on to help have healthy mental wellness was so important to me. I'm also a mother of 2 incredible girls. They're now 11 and 13. They've both participated in the program. My oldest is now a junior mentor with the program. And so be able to see them grow and learn and experience the results where they're confident to try new things. They might be worried about trying something new, but they're more focused on that progress and progress towards their goals rather than being perfect the first time. And so it's been just really rewarding to be a small part of that.
Was the woman who invented BioGirls a sorority girl? I just have to know. Do you know that inside information?
I don't believe so, but she was a collegiate athlete. And
okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's something about, because I think a lot of us waited until college to learn how to work with other women, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm,
because I feel like everyone's like, oh, sororities, and they roll their eyes. I did the same thing when I went to college. And then eventually became president of mine because there was something about like working with other girls, empowering other women, like understanding how to take on leadership roles and supporting each other.
Absolutely.
It was like, this is so cool. And now we're doing it at such a young age for girls through BioGirls. I think that that's so fun. To Neil's point, it's like all of us who are adult women now putting on programs that we would have wanted when we were in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. That's a really challenge. That is just right before it gets really hard as a girl, I feel like,
yes,
if that makes sense.
You're absolutely correct.
Okay, so when are we starting one for boys? Is that an inappropriate question? But it's kind of a good question, isn't it?
It's a good question, and we get it a lot. What we know from the research is that girls are struggling at almost double the rate of boys with mental health issues. And so the 13 years of programming, we've been able to really build a proven process for girls. Our curriculum is focused on the girls' experience through that. And so right now, BioGirls will, but we never know. We never know about the future.
No, I think you're serving as some great inspiration for men out there to copy and paste. Like, you've done the hard work of like what this can look like, what it can be success for. Now we just wait. You wait and see if someone comes forward as going to be the leader. Okay, if someone is listening, they want to access this. Maybe they want to inquire with you and talk to you about what it would look like bringing it to their town. They're listening, and there's not a BioGirls program close to you. What should they know about that process and getting a hold of you? Yeah,
so the first thing I would recommend is visiting our website, biogirls.org, and visiting the Get Involved tab. There are many ways to get involved in a program. You mentioned bringing the program to your community, so leading as a site director. There are several great resources on our website that talk about that process and what the commitment is. You can also get involved if there's already a program in your community as a mentor. Or if your community is large enough, starting even a second program in your community. Finally, getting your daughters involved in the program. All of that information is available on our website. As I mentioned, we have programs running throughout the year, both here in the Fargo-Moorhead area, but as well as surrounding communities. And so I would invite you to visit our website and look at all of the programs that we have available. And then I also mentioned summer camp earlier. So this summer here in Fargo-Moorhead, we have several summer camp opportunities available, kind of the best of BioGirls. We take our favorite lessons and incorporate those into our summer camps.
Okay, other than yoga, which you said you were really involved with, what is something else that is a favorite of the program to you? I know it's hard that's like picking a favorite kid, I'm sure. But because you can't do that. But what is another like little favorite piece of BioGirls that you're always like, ooh, this never gets old?
I think it's the connection with the mentors and the participants.
And mentors are as young as you said, like your 13-year-old is a mentor.
Absolutely, yes. So up until, through high school, they can be a junior mentor. Once they complete 8th grade, they can even be an adult mentor within the program. But it's so great for these girls to be able to make those connections. And it's actually when we survey our participant parents, the relationship they build with their mentor is one of their favorite things about the program.
Yeah.
And so to be able to see that connection form, I even find it as, we're out in the community with my family, the girls will see a mentor that they had from a previous program, and they're so excited to see them. And for a 13-year-old to be excited about anything is kind of a big deal. And so you can really see the impact that these connections are having on these participants, as well as the adults that are part of the program.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we know about kids, right? They need some really wonderful adult or older kid influences outside of their parents. And
Absolutely.
it can really just be one. That makes a really big difference. Laura Scott has been with us, Chief Operating Officer of BioGirls. You can find all their information at biogirls.org. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having us.